were fortunate enough to care for the girls for the first 10 months of their life prior to separation. They got to know the girls extremely well, got to know the family extremely well. We emotionally and physically and intellectually invested a lot of care in the girls, and I know that it was a difficult but necessary transition for them to go to the PICU.
We work closely with each other from a nursing, a medical, physical therapy, child life, spiritual care, kind of every aspect of their team worked together to prepare for the transition.
What we tried to do to ease the transition not only on the family, which is of utmost importance, but also on the nursing staff, was to have open dialogue with the nursing staff prior to the separation surgery and then continue that after the separation surgery. We were able to send a couple of nurses per shift for the first few days post-operatively to kind of be there as a familiar face for the family as they began to build their relationships with the nurses in the PICU.
Each of the babies had a PICU nurse and a NICU nurse. As they stabilized and their condition improved better, we kind of weaned off of that, and it came down to one nurse for each baby, and now they have one nurse for the two babies together.
What are you doing, huh? We go in every morning and do a full head to toe. We look at every nook and cranny and everything that's going on and see if we see anything out of the ordinary, and listen to their lungs and see how they're doing.
Lots of sectioning, both the babies, when one gets upset, it seems like the other one gets upset at the same time.
It's a lot of bouncing back and forth. They do everything together too, so when one of them starts beeping, the other one starts beeping.
We're doing oral care every 4 hours, turning them every 2 hours, having lots of consults come by just to make sure they're getting the adequate therapies.
We are practicing a lot of reaching and grabbing using both hands, bringing their hands together, banging toys together, visual tracking.
Head control, trunk control, getting them to where they should be from a gross motor standpoint. Stretching, range of motion, working with their feet.
Who is that? Who is that?
And the sessions will be dictated kind of what they can tolerate. Usually 30 minutes is a window, but if they can go further and are still awake and participative, then it can go upwards of 45 to an hour.
We want to make sure we can do the most that we can to optimize their muscle development, their tone, and make sure they're progressing appropriately.
Both Knatalye and Adeline are doing better than we would have dreamed so far. Obviously they went through a huge surgery to separate them, which involved many of their organ systems. Natalie's progress has been a tiny bit faster than Adeline, but it was just because of where they started out. Right now we're still in the acute recovery phase of care, where we're working on breathing, we're working on some sedation and pain management, we're working on their intestinal function. We would expect their gait, their walking stride to be somewhat altered initially, but we'll have to monitor them, and with some therapy we're optimistic that they'll be able to walk. The road to recovery will still take a while, but we have an eye to having them breathe on their own one day.
This is another example of why a case like this should be done at Texas Children's, because all of the challenges that they will potentially face, multi-system problems that had to be dealt with during the course of their surgeries, we have the team, we have the expertise to deal with them.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Thursday came around and they extubated her and I got to hold her and hi. Okay, I'm sorry. And I was like, it's my birthday today, and they were like, really? See, we planned this. So and I was like, well, it's the best birthday. And then she got to see sister and she laid next to her for a little while and they played with each other's fingers. We're waiting for little Miss Addie over there to catch up with sister so she can get some cuddle time too.